And I said it to you guys. I'll say it again. The best and worst thing to happen in Philadelphia Eagles football is to win the Super Bowl because we finally got it. But for all those people who said I'd give my soul to see one Super Bowl, you very well may have. Because you have an owner. You know, we're sitting here and we're riding Howie, left and right, and riding Howie. And then, I'm telling you, the head of the snake, the evil within, is at the very, very top. A guy who has such an ego now, who thinks they are the, quote, standard bearer to building a successful, winning organization now, that he can't get out of his own way. And I said it on other shows, and I'll say it again here. We now have to dance with the devil, who might be worse than the one who dances down on the star in Dallas. He's that bad. He's that overbearing. There were reports last week about former players and people around the league saying that the issue in the organization, it isn't Carson, it wasn't Doug, it's deeper than that. I'm telling you, if it was Howie, everything about Howie is put out there. The fact that they specifically left the name out on that report is very telling that it's not Howie Roseman, because nobody's been afraid to trash Howie. None of these beat writers, public or locally and nationally. It is very telling and very convenient that they left Jeffrey Lurie's name out of that. I'm telling you that's where your issue is. And if you think that getting rid of Howie, I'm not saying they shouldn't, by the way. If you think getting rid of Howie is going to solve things, guys, you might be looking at a 10-year downslide for this organization.
20.
If you trade Carson
30.
Wentz, it's possible right now. And I mean, that's where we're facing right now, because they're so fucking egotistical. They have their chest puffed out so fucking far. I don't know how they're not fucking how they're getting through walls or how they're getting through doorways with their heads this fucking big. It's unbelievable. And it's 4 years later, still coming off of that year. And if it didn't tell you through the pressers with Jeffrey Lurie what kind of a douchebag he is now, well, guess what, boys? Guess what, ladies and gentlemen out there? Absolutely really start to read between the lines and use your noggin, because I'm telling you, there's more to it. And before you guys get to your thing, I'm telling we have 87 people watching over on YouTube. Hit the like button, please, for us. Follow all that stuff. All you guys watching over on the book and on Twitter, follow us on the social media right now. Get in there and keep those comments coming, because it is hot, and I'm loving what we're seeing from the fan here and their contributions. Whoever wants to go.
Yeah. Okay. So real quick, we have something for all the doubters out there.
Oh, for a second, I thought you were going to tell me breaking news, man. No. You can't tee it up like that.
No, our lovely producer has a bit of a surprise he wanted me to put up.
I know, first and foremost, I have to be better. Carson Wentz, when asked the Eagles organization put him in a position to succeed this year, adds that he's not a guy to point fingers. There we go.
Wondering.
But he's not accountable, right?
One time. Congrats.
He still can say it. He can still be soft at the same time.
I've got 6 more screenshots in my camera roll, but I don't want to turn it.
Yeah, sorry, Jeff. You're gonna have to take the L on that. He definitely has taken
accountable
in press conferences. So, Chrome, you bring up a really good point, and I know you discussed it with some of us before, and it is alarming and it's eye-opening when you talk about, because like you said, Howie definitely is part of the problem too. Like he is definitely he deserves blame. I've said even months ago, during the middle of the season, I said the Eagles aren't this bad if you don't blame multiple people throughout the whole team, and that goes from Lurie to Howie to Doug to the assistants to the players to Wentz. Everyone has blame, everyone. But it's really alarming when you talk about it and you kind of look at, okay, who's going to keep the owner in check?
Nobody.
Remember when we had Jeff on here last year, and not last year, a few weeks ago, the biggest takeaway from our interview with him was when he said the Hurts pick, Lurie was in on that. That his fingerprints were on the Hurts pick from the gun. The reason why they went with Hurts is because they didn't want to make the same mistake as they made missing out on Wilson. And then they also value the backup quarterback position so much that they were willing to take a backup QB in the second round. And then when you look at some of these other draft picks, it's like, what other stuff does Lurie have his fingerprints on since the Super Bowl?
Well, you know what's crazy though, too, Chucks, with that, and I'm glad you brought it up because I was going to bring that up, and I've said this to you guys, okay? The one thing you look at, right, and we trash Jerry Jones, right, because he's too hands-on. Now look at your owner, who has his fingertips, had his hands in the cookie jar all over molesting that Jalen Hurts cookie down there in that jar. All over that. And I'm telling you right now, even if that's the only draft pick that he influenced, what is the one draft pick that has completely blown up this organization? Completely obliterated this organization. It is the Jalen Hurts pick. As soon as that pick went down, I'm talking everything started crumbling away.
Yeah.
All the buildings started falling. All the fucking, the typhoon started washing over and you have a fucking monsoon going. It's insane what has happened since that draft pick. And the fact that he had to have his fingertips on a second-round draft pick for a backup quarterback because he can't get over that he twisted his nuts over Russell Wilson years ago is a fucking problem. That's a problem. And it's not going to go away. Look at the way he handled himself in those pressers. He was asked about, hey, what about missing out on guys like DK Metcalf and Justin Jefferson? And he totally sidestepped it. He addressed it for guys who went before their pick, totally ignoring the numerous all-pro players that have gone after their draft picks that were inexcusably passed up on. And that tells you right there the way. And I'll tell you what, I hate to say it, but I'm going to be that guy. I look at his face now, and he's so fucking smug. He just has such a punchable face. The way he talks, the way his face, his mannerism, you can tell he's arrogant. I mean, I don't know if you guys have. I had met him in a Phillies game years ago, and I always liked Jeffrey Lurie a lot. He was a really nice guy and a class act, but I have to say, when I look at how he's been since that Super Bowl, and I'm talking, just look at his face and the way he talks and his facial expressions, compared to what he was like 5 years ago. It's like looking at a different guy, and it's just come to light so much more. And I'm telling you guys, we got a problem for a long